got shout out to those of you that had checked it out on Blog Talk and also on YouTube as we had did a double simulcast. It was pretty awesome. Need to work out a couple of kinks as far as Blog Talk goes because I know it was a little bit glitchy several points throughout the episode, and we're definitely going to work on that. We should have everything be smoothed out later in upcoming weeks. But we have to get this out of the way. Two things. One, we need to issue an apology to one of our longtime listeners and supporters of the show. Me and her, we've actually been going back and forth on Twitter for probably about maybe, I want to say a year and a half, maybe about 2 years. She's a sweetheart. Always love interacting with her. She's actually called into the show a couple of times. Her name is Jennifer. And Jennifer, if you're listening, hello. And the reason why we're apologizing to Jennifer is because during our Extreme Rules post show, Jennifer had called in. And I thought it was a crank caller because when the crank caller called in, said that her name was Jennifer, she was from Canada, she had a man voice. And what might be considered funny, well, it actually turned out it wasn't funny because of my sharp tongue that you all have come to know and love, especially when it comes to dealing with the crank callers. Well, this was a case where Jennifer was not a crank caller, and she was quite upset with what had happened. I didn't realize it was actually her until after we went off the air and I saw the tweet that she had put out. And it's very rare that she calls into the show, so that really had threw me off. Normally, if I'm interacting with somebody on Twitter, even if it's a new person, I usually get a tweet from them that says, hey, look, I'm going to call in, this is the area code, look out for, and I hook them up. But this was definitely a case where I did not know Jennifer was going to call. And luckily, she's been a sweetheart about the whole thing. And for those of you that are kind of a little bit confused about, well, why are you apologizing to Jennifer? Well, Jennifer is a transgender. And yes, folks, it turns out there are transgender folks that are out there that do watch pro wrestling. And to make things up too, Jennifer, I had told her that if she can pick a lesbian, gay, transgender organization that does a lot of work in preventing awareness and things of that nature, treating folks that are gay, lesbian, or transgender, treating them fairly and all that. If she could find an organization that I'd be most happy to make a donation to, try to make amends. And she did recommend a organization. So in the very near future, we will be making a donation to the organization of Jennifer's choosing. And on top of that, going forward, we're now going to be doing something we've never done before in the history of the show, and we've been doing this for almost a year and a half now, which is we're going to start screening callers. That way we know who's definitely legit and who is fake. So be prepared from here on out. I may be the one that's going to screen you all that call in during a commercial break. Get your name, where you're calling from, get your general thoughts, just basically get a feel from you to know whether or not you're actually a legit caller or if you're just BSing around. And if I determine you're just BSing around, then you're not going to even make it to live air. You're just going to be during the screening call. But it's either going to be me or whoever else that's here that might be available. We're going to start screening calls that way. Something like that never happens again. If you've been listening to our show for a long time, you know that I'm definitely a supporter of the gay, lesbian, transgender community, especially as far as the slander type of language that's used against them. I always say, keep those type of thoughts to yourself. If you're thinking that, don't say it out loud because it can definitely get you in trouble. Just this past weekend on the RCWR show, we were doing a special piece on bad boys of wrestling as they've just been making headlines with some of the controversial things they've been saying about the homosexual transgender community. So, but definitely we want to issue Jennifer an apology. One other thing that we want to get out the way as we get ready to bring in our special guests, we were devastated to hear the news about those that had lost their lives during the Oklahoma City tornado that had hit less than 24 hours ago. And I can't stress this enough. If you all have not donated yet, you really need to. The images that have just been coming in on the news feed, it's just been really horrific. I mean, last I heard, and I'm giving a rough estimate, I still haven't been able to confirm because I've been doing a lot of multitasking, so I really haven't been watching the news like that, but last I heard at least up to 40 people have died during this tornado storm. Out of that number, 9 children have lost their lives. And for a lot of these families that may have lost their loved ones or lost their home, they have to do some serious rebuilding emotionally, financially, anything that you are.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I look awful, but I wanted to get this on the same recording. A lot of lights here now. Jennifer McCreath, I guess it's still Tuesday night in Washington, but it's early Wednesday morning, May 22nd here, 2013. Newfoundland Standard Time, and it was really great to hear Lee Sanders publicly apologize and own up to his mistake, and I'm really glad to hear that. And I'm glad that there's some folks out there in the radio sports talk show world who are being accepting, because there has been a lot of negative stories in the media over the past year about sports media journalists bashing gay and transgender people. So a rough incident on air has turned into a positive and made a good friendship here with Lee even stronger, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm also going to have a little announcement about, well, wait, first let's get out of the way, the donation that Lee will be making upon my recommendation is to a trans organization in Maryland, and it's no secret that I've been victimized by some of Maryland's transphobic political leaders. Interestingly enough, little me up here in Canada has been attacked by Kathy Brennan and others, so it's time to send some money down to the good folks of Maryland that are fighting for trans equality, and I'm happy and proud to have made that choice. Lee also mentioned Oklahoma. I'm going to be doing a video on Oklahoma perhaps tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching this one. And follow me on Twitter. Find Lee Infinity Productions with Infinity with an E. We'll get the links out there for you. If you like pro wrestling, Lee does a really good talk show after every live pay-per-view, and I believe after every Monday Night Raw. So keep tuning in. Social media is 2013. That's the way the world runs now. Yeah, so a good day, a good news story, and a great video. Thanks for watching it if you're still watching. Jennifer McCreath saying have a great day.